And I just started crying my eyes out, and I ran home. I sat down in my closet, looked at that tie hanging from the pole, and I got so scared that I was actually going to do that I just called my therapist that second. I was like, I'm afraid I'm gonna try it again if I don't get extra help. Like, I need more help than what you're able to give me right now.
You're listening to a show for those who aren't afraid to admit that they don't know what the hell is going on. This is a safe space to ask any question you may have in order to keep learning and growing every day. Because the truth is, there's no way to know everything. So join me as I talk to people who know a little something about life. But there's a catch. I'll also know nothing about the questions I'm going to ask. Just like in school when there was a suggestion box that the teacher would read out loud, I'll be pulling up the questions without ever seeing them beforehand. Let's just say this should get very interesting. This is Trust Me, I Know Nothing. Wait, what?
Hey guys, welcome to a new episode of Trust Me, I Know Nothing. This episode is going to be a little different from the ones we've done in the past. For starters, I have no guests, it's just going to be me. But I felt that it needed to be this way in order to talk about what I want to talk about today. When I was coming up with ideas for this episode, I made a huge list of everything I want to talk about, and I sent it in and it was approved. But then I noticed the date, and today is December 29th. And 1 year ago today, I lived through something that changed my life basically. So I wanted to share it with you guys. When I decided to create this show, I wanted to create a safe space for everyone to be completely honest without the fear of being judged. And that includes myself. I want to be completely honest and share one of the experiences that changed my life forever, and hopefully, you guys can take something from it. So, I don't want to be mysterious or anything, but before I tell you what happened that day, I need to give you guys a little context. So, for as long as I can remember, I've struggled with my mental health. My parents put me in therapy since I was in elementary school. And ever since, my thoughts and emotions have been a part of different conversations all through my life. And 5 years ago, I was diagnosed with depression and anxiety, the perfect combo. The way I was diagnosed is I'd been in therapy for a while then, and I started to have this episodes where I couldn't breathe. I felt this pain in my chest, like I was being stabbed, and I was just like paralyzed out of the blue. So I was talking to my therapist about this, and she was like, I think it's anxiety, but you should just go see a cardiologist just to be sure that it's not something with your heart. Because it felt like I was being stabbed in the heart every time. So I went to the cardiologist, and he told me like everything's perfect with your heart. It is anxiety. So I went back to my therapist, told her that, and we started working on it. We started the treatment. Soon after that, I had my first depression episode. I guess I could call it like that. And it's known that sometimes they go hand in hand. When you get depression, you might get anxiety, and vice versa. Some psychologists say it's like the chicken and the egg. They don't know which one comes first, but they both show up sometimes. So, yeah, and for 5 years, I've dealt with that, and mostly it's been fine. But there have been some times where it wasn't fine. So, on December 29th last year, I I wasn't fine. I had been going through a tough time. I can't really remember what happened that day exactly. I don't know if I blocked it or I just don't remember. But I guess the one thing I can remember is how I felt that day. Just like for everyone else, I think 2020 had been a really tough year for me. I guess many can relate when I say that having depression and anxiety while living through a global pandemic and lockdown is no joke. Things got pretty dark. I should also mention that I had just lost my job due to the pandemic. I was still living at my parents' house at 26 years old, but I don't know, it didn't feel great. I was also dealing with a broken heart for the first time, and I wasn't used to those feelings. So it was just like a lot. And every time I started to feel okay, it just felt like they moved the finish line a few steps back, like every day. And it felt like I just couldn't catch a break. I was also diagnosed with scoliosis that year, and the physical pain was intense some days. I couldn't do basic stuff like going for a walk or playing with my little niece or just doing things that I liked. I just couldn't do those because of the pain. So that didn't help. And it just, like I said, it just felt like I couldn't catch a break. And I know that when I mention my problems like that, they seem a little superficial, like it's just a list of things that I needed to get through. But at the moment, I just couldn't see them like that because what you need to understand about depression is that it's never about the facts. It's more about how you feel in the moment. And at least for me, it was like a heavy fog just came into my brain and it wouldn't let me see things for what they were. I couldn't even look up. It felt like that, like I was looking down all the time, and the weight of the fog would make me feel like I couldn't breathe. No matter what I did, I just felt like it was pointless because the fog would drag me back in every time I tried to get out. So I felt like that for a while, and I had discussed it in therapy, but like you know how we are in therapy, we're never 100% honest until we reach our breaking point, and I wasn't there yet. So I was like, yeah, I'm feeling down, but I'm good. Today was tough, but it was just today. Like I told her what I knew she wanted to hear and not what I really wanted to say. And on December 29th, I got to that breaking point. I remember I was sitting in my bed after lunch and I looked at a metal pole that my physical therapist installed in my closet door for me to do some exercises that would help with those scoliosis. So I was looking at that pole, and all I can remember thinking is, would that pole be able to hold my weight if I decided to hang myself with a tie? So I just got numb and I got up. Like I remember not even being fully there. I was just like half there, half somewhere else. So I got up and I grabbed a tie from my closet and I tied it up on the pole and was like, I remember thinking like, hey, it's firm. It could definitely hold me. So it was like the fog just completely set in, and like I made my mind like it can hold me, I'm gonna do it. So I tied the knot and I put it around my neck. But then I thought it's still pretty early, and if I do it now, people are still awake in my house and they're gonna be able to find me, and I might not be able to get to like succeed at killing myself. So I decided to not give them a chance to save me, and I wanted to wait till it was dark and everyone had gone to sleep, and that way they wouldn't find me until the morning. So I had time, and I decided to take my dog out for a walk because I figured, I mean, I still have a few hours till it's dark. I might as well give her one last walk. And it's weird talking about it now because it all seems so simple to me. Like that process that I was actually thinking all of these things, like it was logical and like, yeah, I have time. I can make time for a walk and then I'll kill myself. It's really weird that I could think like that, but the fog wouldn't let me see things otherwise, like in a different way. So yeah, I went out for a walk with my dog, and I remember I got a phone call from my sister, and I really didn't want to pick up because I didn't want her to feel like she could have said something that would change my mind because I had already made up my mind. I knew what I wanted to do that night. But then I thought maybe this is your chance to say goodbye to her and give her some closure because it wouldn't be fair to her to not have closure. I don't know, and I think about it now and it's so weird that that's where my head went. But I picked up and my sister just said like, hey, before I could even say anything, she was like, hey, what are you doing tomorrow? I need you to take care of Raquel, my niece. And I was like I was silent. I remember I didn't know how to respond to that, and she was like, "I'm just gonna drop her at your house at 11, and I'm gonna pick her up after lunch." And like she made this plan, and like I was like, "Okay, yeah, sure." And I remember just thinking, I'm just gonna have to wait one more day because my niece needs me to be here for her one more day. And all of a sudden, like it hit me like a fucking tsunami. Like, crap, my niece needs me to be here one more day. What if she need me one more time after that? And like, it's so simple now that I see it, but it just took that one call to snap me out of it, and I realized what I was going to do and how someone would have to explain to my niece that I wasn't going to be there for her. Like it just scared the crap out of me. So remember I started crying in the middle of the street with my dog, and my dog just looked at me like, "What's wrong with you?" And I just started crying my eyes out, and I ran home. I like sat down in my closet, like looked at that tie hanging from the pole, and I got so scared that I was actually going to do that I just called my therapist that second. I was like, yo, I was about to do the most stupid thing I could ever do. And I'm afraid I'm gonna try it again if I don't get extra help. Like, I need more help than what you're able to give me right now. And before I could even hang up after that, she had already sent me the contact to a psychiatrist for me to see. And 2 days later, I was taking my first dose of antidepressants. And I am so thankful for that I decided to pick up the phone. And I know that whenever I tell people that I wanted to kill myself, but I stopped because I had to babysit my niece, they laugh a little. I know it sounds silly. I get it. But trust me, I'm not saying that my niece is the only reason I have to stay alive, but in that moment, it was the only thing that made me want to get out of the fog. And I don't know, it didn't cure me, but it made me want to give myself one more day. And sometimes that's all you need is just one more day. Just try one more day. And I've made that decision for 364 days now. And thanks to that, I'm still here. And I also want to acknowledge that I know how privileged I am and I was at that moment, that I had been going to therapy and that I had access to a psychiatrist and I had the money to buy the pills that helped me feel better. I know that not everyone is as blessed as I was in that moment. And I will forever be grateful that I was able to do it like that. I also want to talk about how there's still this weird stigma around psychiatrists and pills and antidepressants. And trust me, I was against them too. I used to think that you needed to be schizophrenic to take a pill. But I can say today that I am a huge advocate for that type of treatment if you have access to it and a professional is recommending it. It's the best decision I can tell you to make is to reach out for that type of help. In my case, it was a short-term thing. I remember telling the psychiatrist I don't want to be on a pill forever because I don't want to use it as a crutch, and I don't want to become addicted or anything because I've heard all those things that people say about this type of pills. And the first thing he said is, you're not going to take this pill for more than 10 months. I'm not going to let you do that. I just need to balance your brain again. And I just took the pill for 8 months actually, and I was discharged. And he said it was good if I didn't need them again. And if I ever did need them again, that was okay too. And it just changed the way I looked at antidepressants and at psychiatrists in general. And it just helped me understand that sometimes you do need a little extra help, whether it be therapy, a pill, just talking to someone you know. Sometimes you do need that extra help, and it's okay if you ask for it. So, yeah, and I understand that what worked for me probably won't work for everyone. What's right for me is not right for everyone. Like everyone's brain is different. So all I'm asking is that you try different things until you find what works for you and you don't give up. Because I don't wish what I felt that day on anyone. That feeling of pointlessness and of giving up on life is the worst thing I've felt ever, I guess. So yeah, I just want everyone to know that it's okay to ask for help. And like I said, just try different things until you find what's right for you. Don't give up. The reason I wanted to do this episode today is because I want to acknowledge the fact that I conquered everything that terrified me 1 year ago. Everything that seemed so scary and that made me feel like there was no point in trying, I got through. And today I can look back and I'm really proud of myself and everything that I had to do to get here. And I wanted to write something to the person I was that day. And I wanted to share a few things with him and with you, if that's okay. Here it is. Hey, I'm not gonna ask how you're doing because I know exactly how you're doing. The feeling is still in the back of my mind every day. So I want to apologize to you. I'm sorry you felt like you didn't deserve love. I'm sorry the world made you feel like you were a mistake or that something was wrong with you. I'm sorry for the hateful words that you heard and believed. I'm sorry for the abuse you suffered from the people who were supposed to protect you. I'm sorry you were made to think that you weren't worthy. And I'm sorry you felt so alone and helpless that you wanted to make it stop like that. I also want to thank you because you were in so much pain and you still picked up the phone that day. To be honest, I'm sure that if you hadn't, I wouldn't be here. I know just how determined you were to do it and your pain, just like that. But you picked up the phone and you gave yourself a chance to live one more day. Now, 30, now 364 days have gone by And I wanted to thank you for everything I got to experience because you picked up the phone. I got to see Raquel turn 3. Her party was Frozen themed, and I got to dance with her and Elsa. And it was probably one of the best days of my life. I got to meet Sophia, my new baby niece. And now I know that she likes to fall asleep to ABBA music. And I got to share thousands of laughs with my sister. Our relationship hadn't always been the best, but for the past couple of years, like we've been really working on making it better. And this past year, she's become one of my best friends, if not my best friend. I got to mend my broken heart and open myself to love again. And it sucks because I got hurt so many times more after that, but I just knew that I could get through it because I did it once. I got to listen to millions of new songs that made me feel really alive. I got to go on hundreds of walks with my dogs, and every time I do it, I feel so grateful to get a chance to do it again. I got to move in with my best friend, and now every night I go to sleep at peace and so happy in my own place, and I never thought that would be possible. I got to get an amazing job that finally feels like I'm doing what I was born to do. I got to kiss my dogs goodnight many nights, and that became my favorite thing to do in the lockdown. I got to forgive the people who hurt me and abused me, and now they hold nothing over me. I understood that if I didn't destroy myself, if I didn't kill myself, I wasn't going to give that power to anyone else. I got to find out that I'm really strong and there's nothing that's too good for me. I just need to work extra hard to get it. And I got to believe in myself again. So thank you, because you were strong when it was nearly impossible. You pushed for one more day, and now I get to live the life of my dreams. And now I know I deserve love. Now I know that there's nothing wrong with me and the way I was made. I know that those hateful words I heard growing up had nothing to do with me and had everything to do with their self-hate. I know that the people that hurt me hold nothing over me today, and I made it out alive and stronger than ever. I know I am worthy. I know that I am not alone, and I have so much love in my life, and I feel it every day. So even though life isn't perfect, I am happy and at peace. And when the fog rolls in again, I know that I can tap into the strength you showed that day, and everything will eventually be okay again. I hope you're proud of the person we became, because I know I am. When I thought about what I wanted to talk about today, I thought about maybe mentioning statistics and numbers about how there are hundreds of people that commit suicide every day, or about how depression affects so many people around you. But I don't know, it just felt impersonal and not what I wanted to focus on today. What I want to focus on is you. If you are feeling the way I felt that day, I really wanted to say something that would help you see that there are other people out there that feel the same way you do. And I remember back then, something that people kept saying to me is, it's okay to not be okay. And I get it. I get what that phrase is trying to say, that being happy every day is impossible and it's okay to have bad days. But to me, it kind of normalized not being okay to the point where I didn't know how to get back from the dark place. I just kept saying, oh, it's okay that I don't feel good today. It's okay that I don't feel good today. for weeks until I didn't know how to make myself feel okay. So I just had to adjust that philosophy. And what I say to myself is it's okay to just be okay. And that takes a lot of pressure off for me because now I know that my days don't have to be perfect. I get to have bad days and bad moments and then go back to being just okay. And then some days I have perfect days, really happy days, and that's amazing. But when I don't have those days, I I got a little tattoo on my ankle of an R, and it just helps me remember that even when I just don't feel like it and I can't go back to feeling just okay, I remember that day, I remember my knees, and I remember that I just need to keep my feet on the ground for one more day because Raquel might need me and everything feels okay for that moment. So that's what works for me. That's what reminds me to just try one more day. But I wanted to give you guys some reminders in case you need them, in case you need some reason to stick around just one more day. Maybe you can think of your best friend that's waiting for your text, or maybe your mom or dad that want to see you again just one more day. Maybe you can think of your sister that's waiting for you to get home so she can tell you all about her day, or your brother that will need to ask you for some advice on something only you can help him with, your pet that gets so happy every time you just put your hand on its head, or think of the new song from your favorite artist that you haven't heard yet, the new movie that everyone will make memes about next week, all the people that you will meet, all the lessons you will learn, and all the love you're going to receive and give, and all the joy you will feel again. I know that sometimes it's easier said than done to just try one more day. So if you can't try one more day, just try for one more hour. And if that's too hard, try for one more minute, but just try. Because today I can tell you that I'm really glad I did. I would have missed so many things that now make me so happy. And that's why I wanted to talk about this today, because I really wanted to acknowledge the fact that I made it through. I look back at the last year of my life and I can't imagine missing all of it. So I don't know, it felt right to honor it. I know that it's not an easy topic to talk about, but I wanted to acknowledge it and serve it as a reminder for myself that no matter how hard things get, I was able to make it through this year. So I can probably make it through another one and another one and another one and so on until I'm done. I also felt that it was important to talk about this now because with the new year, people start feeling pressure to achieve everything in the first week, and that pressure can be too much sometimes. So I want to remind yourself that you just got to make it through one day. Just take it one day at a time, and soon you'll make it through a year. Trust me. If you need help, just I'm gonna post the links to different places you can contact in the United States and in Mexico if you feel like you need help getting through a tough period in your life. So in the States, you can call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-8255, or you can visit their website at suicidepreventionlifeline.org. And you can also visit the website for the Lifeline Crisis Chat which is suicideprevention lifeline.org/gethelp/lifelinechat.aspx. I'm going to put the link in the description too. And in Mexico, you can reach out to the Sistema Nacional de Apoyo, Consejo Psicológico e Intervención en Crisis por teléfono, better known as SAPTEL, and the number is 5259-8121. And the Metropolitan University also has a hotline. You can call them at 5804-6444 or 5804-4879. And you can also chat online with them at wam.mx/linea_chat.htm. I thought a lot about how I wanted to end this episode, and I just couldn't figure out how to do it until I realized that the reason I couldn't finish the episode is because this experience is going to be a part of me forever, but in a good way. Because you see, when I sat down to write that letter to myself, I really thought I was going to break down and cry and relieve all of that pain that I felt that day. But instead, I just felt really proud of myself. I felt so proud that I get to look back at one of the hardest things that I've ever gone through and say that I made it to the other side. So that's my wish for you, that one day, hopefully really soon, you're going to look back and feel really proud of yourself for making it through. And I also want to say that I know that asking for help can be very hard sometimes. Maybe you're nervous, maybe you're scared, maybe you even feel ashamed. But let me be the one to tell you that you have nothing to be ashamed of. If you're in the middle of the fog, I'm here to tell you that you are not alone. There are hundreds of people out there, including myself, that understand what you're going through and feel the same way you do. And it's okay if life gets a little hard sometimes. But all I ask is that you don't give up on yourself today, because you might not want to miss what life has in store for you tomorrow. And I just want to say Happy New Year to all of you, and I'll meet you on the other side.